The magic art of the great humbug.
Магия великого мошенника.
The magic art of the great humbug. Next morning the Scarecrow said to his friends.
Наутро Страшила сказал своим друзьям.
Next morning the Scarecrow said to his friends. Congratulate me.
Поздравьте меня.
Congratulate me. I am going to Oz to get my brains at last.
Я иду к Оз, чтобы наконец получить свои мозги.
I am going to Oz to get my brains at last. When I return I shall be as other men are.
Когда я вернусь, я буду таким же, как все мужчины.
When I return I shall be as other men are. I have always liked you as you were.
Ты мне всегда нравился таким, какой есть.
I have always liked you as you were. Said Dorothy simply.
Просто сказала Дороти.
Said Dorothy simply. It is kind of you to like a scarecrow.
Это мило, что тебе нравится Страшила.
It is kind of you to like a scarecrow. He replied.
Ответил он.
He replied. But surely you will think more of me.
Но точно, вы будете думать обо мне больше.
But surely you will think more of me. When you hear the splendid thoughts.
Когда услышите великолепные мысли.
When you hear the splendid thoughts. My new brain is going to turn out.
Которые появятся из моего нового мозга.
My new brain is going to turn out. Then he said goodbye to them all in a cheerful voice.
Потом он попрощался со всеми веселым голосом.
Then he said goodbye to them all in a cheerful voice. And went to the throne room, where he rapped upon the door.
И пошел в тронный зал, где постучал в дверь.
And went to the throne room, where he rapped upon the door. Come in.
Входите,
Come in. Said Oz.
сказал Оз.
Said Oz. The Scarecrow went in.
Страшила вошел.
The Scarecrow went in. And found the little man sitting down by the window.
И нашел человечка, сидящему у окна.
And found the little man sitting down by the window. Engaged in deep thought.
И погруженным в глубокие размышления.
Engaged in deep thought. I have come for my brains.
Я пришел за своими мозгами.
I have come for my brains. Remarked the Scarecrow, a little uneasily.
С некоторым беспокойством заметил Страшила.
Remarked the Scarecrow, a little uneasily. Oh, yes, sit down in that chair, please.
Да. Сядьте на этот стул, пожалуйста.
Oh, yes, sit down in that chair, please. Replied Oz.
Ответил Оз.
Replied Oz. You must excuse me for taking your head off.
Прости меня за то, что я сниму тебе голову.
You must excuse me for taking your head off. But I shall have to do it in order.
Но мне придется сделать это.
But I shall have to do it in order. To put your brains in their proper place.
Чтобы вставить твои мозги на место.
To put your brains in their proper place. That's all right.
Все в порядке,
That's all right. Said the Scarecrow.
сказал Страшила.
Said the Scarecrow. You are quite welcome to take my head off.
Полностью можешь снять мне голову,
You are quite welcome to take my head off. As long as it will be a better one.
если так будет lучше,
As long as it will be a better one. When you put it on again.
чтобы потом вернуть ее на место.
When you put it on again. So the wizard unfastened his head.
Тогда волшебник отстегнул голову.
So the wizard unfastened his head. And emptied out the straw.
И высыпал солому.
And emptied out the straw. Then he entered the back room.
Затем он вошел в заднюю комнату.
Then he entered the back room. And took up a measure of bran.
И взял меру отрубей,
And took up a measure of bran. Which he mixed.
которые он смешал.
Which he mixed. With a great many pins and needles.
С большим количеством булавок и иголок.
With a great many pins and needles. Having shaken them together thoroughly.
Тщательно встряхнув их вместе,
Having shaken them together thoroughly. He filled the top of the Scarecrow's head with the mixture.
он набил этой смесью макушку головы Страшилы.
He filled the top of the Scarecrow's head with the mixture. And stuffed the rest of the space with straw.
А остальное набил соломой.
and stuffed the rest of the space with straw. To hold it in place.
чтобы удержать ее на месте.
To hold it in place. When he had fastened.
Когда он прикрепил.
When he had fastened. The Scarecrow's head on his body again.
Голову Страшилы к телу снова.
The Scarecrow's head on his body again. He said to him.
Он сказал ему.
He said to him. Hereafter you will be a great man.
Отныне ты будешь великим человеком.
Hereafter you will be a great man. For I have given you a lot of brand new brains.
Потому что я дал тебе много свежих мозгов.
For I have given you a lot of brand new brains. The Scarecrow was both pleased.
Страшила был доволен.
The Scarecrow was both pleased. And proud at the fulfillment of his greatest wish.
И горд исполнением своего самого большого желания.
And proud at the fulfillment of his greatest wish. And having thanked Oz warmly.
И тепло поблагодарив Оз.
And having thanked Oz warmly. He went back to his friends.
Вернулся к своим друзьям.
He went back to his friends. Dorothy looked at him curiously.
Дороти с любопытством посмотрела на него.
Dorothy looked at him curiously. His head was quite bulged out.
Его голова была довольно выпуклой.
His head was quite bulged out. At the top with brains.
В верхней части с мозгами.
At the top with brains. How do you feel?
Как ты себя чувствуешь?
How do you feel? She asked.
Спросила она.
She asked. I feel wise indeed.
Я действительно чувствую себя мудрым.
I feel wise indeed. He answered earnestly.
Серьезно ответил он.
He answered earnestly. When I get used to my brains, I shall know everything.
Когда я привыкну к своим мозгам, я все узнаю.
When I get used to my brains, I shall know everything. Why are those needles and pins sticking out of your head?
Почему у тебя из головы торчат эти иголки и булавки?
Why are those needles and pins sticking out of your head? Asked the Tin Woodman.
Спросил железный дровосек.
Asked the Tin Woodman. That is proof that he is sharp.
Это доказательство того, что он остроумен.
That is proof that he is sharp. Remarked the lion.
Заметил лев.
Remarked the lion. Well, I must go to Oz.
Что ж, я должен отправиться к Оз.
Well, I must go to Oz. And get my heart.
И получить свое сердце.
And get my heart. Said the woodman.
Сказал дровосек.
Said the woodman. So he walked to the throne room.
Поэтому он пошел к тронному залу.
So he walked to the throne room. And knocked at the door.
И постучал в дверь.
And knocked at the door. Come in.
Входите.
Come in. Called Oz, and the woodman entered and said.
Позвал Оз, дровосек вошел и сказал.
Called Oz, and the woodman entered and said. I have come for my heart.
Я пришел за своим сердцем.
I have come for my heart. Very well.
Очень хорошо,
Very well. Answered the little man.
ответил человечек.
Answered the little man. But I shall have to cut a hole in your breast.
Но мне придется прорезать дырку в твоей груди,
But I shall have to cut a hole in your breast. So I can put your heart in the right place.
чтобы я мог поместить сердце в нужное место.
So I can put your heart in the right place. I hope it won't hurt you.
Надеюсь, это не причинит тебе вреда.
I hope it won't hurt you. Oh, no.
Нет,
Oh, no. Answered the woodman.
ответил дровосек.
Answered the woodman. I shall not feel it at all.
Я совсем не почувствую.
I shall not feel it at all. So Oz brought a pair of tinsmith's shears.
Итак, Оз принес пару жестяных ножниц.
So Oz brought a pair of tinsmith's shears. And cut a small, square hole.
И прорезал маленькое квадратное отверстие.
And cut a small, square hole. In the left side of the Tin Woodman's breast.
В левой части груди железного дровосека.
In the left side of the Tin Woodman's breast. Then, going to a chest of drawers.
Затем, подойдя к комоду,
Then, going to a chest of drawers. He took out a pretty heart.
Он достал красивое сердце,
He took out a pretty heart. Made entirely of silk.
целиком сделанное из шелка,
Made entirely of silk. And stuffed with sawdust.
и набитое опилками.
And stuffed with sawdust. Isn't it a beauty?
Разве это не красота?
Isn't it a beauty? He asked.
Спросил он.
He asked. It is, indeed.
Да, действительно.
It is, indeed. Replied the woodman, who was greatly pleased.
Ответил дровосек, который был очень доволен.
Replied the woodman, who was greatly pleased. But is it a kind heart?
Но доброе ли сердце?
But is it a kind heart? Oh, very.
Очень.
Oh, very. Answered Oz.
Ответил ос.
Answered Oz. He put the heart in the woodman's breast.
Он вложил сердце в грудь дровосека.
He put the heart in the woodman's breast. And then replaced the square of tin.
А затем заменил оловянный квадрат,
And then replaced the square of tin. Soldering it neatly together.
аккуратно припаяв его вместе,
Soldering it neatly together. Where it had been cut.
в том месте, где он был вырезан.
Where it had been cut. There.
Вот,
There. Said he.
сказал он,
Said he. Now you have a heart.
теперь у тебя есть сердце,
Now you have a heart. That any man might be proud of.
которым мог бы гордиться любой мужчина.
That any man might be proud of. I'm sorry.
Прости,
I'm sorry. I had to put a patch on your breast.
что мне пришлось наклеить пластырь на твою грудь,
I had to put a patch on your breast. But it really couldn't be helped.
но ничего не поделаешь.
But it really couldn't be helped. Never mind the patch.
Не обращай внимания на пластырь,
Never mind the patch. Exclaimed the happy woodman.
воскликнул счастливый дровосек.
Exclaimed the happy woodman. I am very grateful to you.
Я очень благодарен вам.
I am very grateful to you. And shall never forget your kindness.
И никогда не забуду вашей доброты.
And shall never forget your kindness. Don't speak of it.
Не говори об этом,
Don't speak of it. Replied Oz.
ответил ос.
Replied Oz. Then the Tin Woodman went back to his friends.
Затем железный дровосек вернулся к своим друзьям,
Then the Tin Woodman went back to his friends. Who wished him every joy.
которые желали ему всяческой радости,
Who wished him every joy. On account of his good fortune.
в связи с его удачей.
On account of his good fortune. The lion now walked to the throne room.
Лев подошел к тронному залу.
The lion now walked to the throne room. And knocked at the door.
И постучал в дверь.
And knocked at the door. Come in.
«Входите»,
Come in. Said Oz.
сказал ос.
Said Oz. I have come for my courage.
«Я пришел за своим мужеством»,
I have come for my courage. Announced the lion, entering the room.
объявил лев, входя в комнату.
Announced the lion, entering the room. Very well.
«Очень хорошо»,
Very well. Answered the little man.
ответил человечек.
Answered the little man. I will get it for you.
«Я принесу тебе это».
I will get it for you. He went to a cupboard.
Он подошел к шкафу
He went to a cupboard. And reaching up to a high shelf.
и, потянувшись к высокой полке,
And reaching up to a high shelf. Took down a square green bottle.
достал квадратную зеленую бутылку,
Took down a square green bottle. The contents of which he poured.
содержимое которой вылил,
The contents of which he poured. Into a green gold dish, beautifully carved.
в зелено-золотую тарелку с красивой резьбой.
Into a green gold dish, beautifully carved. Placing this before the cowardly lion.
Положив это перед трусливым львом,
Placing this before the cowardly lion. Who sniffed at it?
который понюхал его,
Who sniffed at it? As if he did not like it.
как будто оно ему не понравилось,
as if he did not like it. The wizard said.
Волшебник сказал.
The wizard said. Drink.
Пей.
Drink. What is it?
Что это такое?
What is it? Asked the lion.
Спросил лев.
Asked the lion. Well?
Ну,
Well? Answered Oz.
ответил ос.
Answered Oz. If it were inside of you.
Если бы это было внутри тебя,
If it were inside of you. It would be courage.
это была бы смелость.
It would be courage. You know, of course.
Ты же знаешь, конечно.
You know, of course. That courage is always inside one.
Что мужество всегда внутри.
That courage is always inside one. So that this really cannot be called courage.
Так что это действительно нельзя назвать мужеством.
So that this really cannot be called courage. Until you have swallowed it.
Пока ты не проглотишь это.
Until you have swallowed it. Therefore, I advise you to drink it as soon as possible.
Поэтому я советую тебе выпить его как можно скорее.
Therefore, I advise you to drink it as soon as possible. The lion hesitated no longer, but drank.
Лев больше не колебался и пил,
The lion hesitated no longer, but drank. Till the dish was empty.
пока блюдо не опустело.
Till the dish was empty. How do you feel now?
Как ты себя теперь чувствуешь?
How do you feel now? Asked Oz.
Спросил ос.
Asked Oz. Full of courage.
Полон мужества.
Full of courage. Replied the lion.
Ответил лев,
Replied the lion. Who went joyfully back to his friends.
который радостно вернулся к своим друзьям,
Who went joyfully back to his friends. To tell them of his good fortune.
чтобы рассказать им о своей удаче.
To tell them of his good fortune. Oz, left to himself, smiled.
Ос, оставшись один, улыбнулся.
Oz, left to himself, smiled. To think of his success in giving the Scarecrow.
Вспомнив, как ему удалось дать Страшиле,
To think of his success in giving the Scarecrow. And the Tin Woodman and the Lion.
железному дровосеку и льву.
And the Tin Woodman and the Lion. Exactly what they thought they wanted.
Именно то, что они хотели.
Exactly what they thought they wanted. How can I help being a humbug?
Как я могу не быть обманщиком,
How can I help being a humbug? He said.
сказал он,
He said. When all these people make me do things.
когда все эти люди заставляют меня делать то,
When all these people make me do things. That everybody knows can't be done?
что, как всем известно, невозможно.
That everybody knows can't be done? It was easy to make the Scarecrow.
Было легко сделать Страшилу,
It was easy to make the Scarecrow. And the lion and the woodman happy.
льва и дровосека счастливыми,
And the lion and the woodman happy. Because they imagined I could do anything.
потому что они представили, что я могу все.
Because they imagined I could do anything. But it will take more than imagination.
Но потребуется нечто большее, чем воображение,
But it will take more than imagination. To carry Dorothy back to Kansas.
чтобы вернуть Дороти обратно в Канзас,
To carry Dorothy back to Kansas. And I'm sure I don't know how it can be done.
и я уверен, что не знаю, как это сделать.
And I'm sure I don't know how it can be done.